What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Odyssey.
So, this is a new series I want to do called YouTube Shoutouts. On this sort of thing, this is when I look up different things like on Pinterest and stuff like that. I've found a lot of cool things on there that I want to share with you all that kind of give shoutouts to other people, give them sort of just kind of a network to get more people to notice what they do and appreciate it, and just to share our thoughts on it as well. So for this one, this is, well, actually, let me read it here real quick, and then we'll go from there. This is actually called Polish Artist Illustrates His Fight Against Depression in Mysterious Dark Paintings. So that automatically sounded really interesting at first, and then I started seeing the pictures, and I'm thinking, whoa. When you think of depression, it is a serious thing. A lot of people suffer. It's still a big struggle. Seeing this artist and the way he handled these pictures are really cool, and it reminds me of Limbo. I get a Limbo vibe. It seems reminiscent of it. So without further ado, here goes the first picture. So this one is crazy. Look how big this guy is. Look how big this rhino is compared to that little guy right there. He's just standing at it. Like, honestly, if you were to see me next to that thing, I would take one look and just run in the opposite direction, because that's dinosaur big compared to him. And he is awake. You see that eye glowing. You see a lot of cool things here, actually. The tone actually really well matches that kind of depression type tone where you don't really see any color. You see just a lot of dark grays. Nothing really black, just a lot of different shades of gray. It looks real. It looks like you would find it in the game Limbo. And if you guys don't know what that game is, Google it. It's a pretty interesting game. So what they had to say about this: one challenge is at a time. I try to turn into the face of fear until you are not my master. You are the product of myself, and I am your master. I look into the monster's eyes until it disappears. Then I am free. So this was a quote by Rovinen Shaw. I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. So this actually really fits the picture here, because as you can tell, this is a beast. This is a behemoth of a rhino right here. But you see the guy who's in this picture, who's supposed to represent the artist there. He has a flame, he has a torch up, and he's just staring at the thing. As you can tell, he's really standing his ground while the rhino is kind of staring back at him. So this piece really represents what was quoted for this picture, and I think that is a really powerful message. And looking at it at first, it kind of makes me think, I wouldn't really get that vibe from it, from what the quote says, but I'm kind of seeing it a bit more. But it's kind of one of those things where you kind of interpret it your own way. All right, so next to the next piece. So on to the next piece. Boom. So this one is interesting. You have a fish that seems to be floating. A floating fish that kind of moves through the air like it's water, it looks like. Because you see it's not really being held up anything. It's kind of just, it looks like it is just swimming through the air like it's water. And you see a little boy there holding some kind of glowing orb. So I'm wondering what that is. So let's go down to the quote here. And sorry you guys can't see this. My current editing program, I have Sony Vegas. From what I've seen, it doesn't have a screen capture, so unfortunately. So this one says, never go into the deep parts of the forest, for there are many dangers there, both dark and bright, and they will ensnare your soul. Robert Beatty, Serafini, and the Black Cloak. I'm not sure where these quotes are coming from now, because it kind of sounds like the name of a book. Robert Beatty, Serafini, or Serafina, I don't know, and the Black Cloak. Maybe this is, I don't know. I don't know what the quotes are for. I guess I should look that up and figure it out, because Pinterest, this is from Pinterest, this article here, so it's not really showing me. It was pinned from its own website, from 9gag. That's what I should have said earlier. But this is really interesting. So this one says, never go into the deep parts of the forest, for there are many dangers there, both dark and bright, and they will ensnare your soul. So normally when you hear both dark and bright, you think, okay, the dark is bad, the bright is good, but it's saying both those sides. As long as you're in the forest, you're not safe. Either of those will get you. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And it makes me wonder, why a fish though? So on to the next one. Boom. Okay, so this one really odd. You have the Gordon's Fisherman. No, I'm joking. It's is a deep sea diver, it looks like, and then you have a male deer in the background there. He looks pretty mad. So I'm getting a Scooby-Doo vibe from this now. Is anyone getting a Scooby-Doo vibe from this? I don't know. So the quote for this one is, allow the power to flow through you. Don't try to capture it. You wish only to borrow it. G.G. Collins. So I'm thinking what he did was he took quotes from other people to go with these pieces he created. That's what I'm thinking is going on here. So I'm not seeing how this relates to this picture though. Allow the power to flow through you. What does that have to do with a deep sea diver and a deer in the background? But I guess maybe the relevance isn't really that to the picture itself. It's just going to the whole thing of depression. Let me know if you guys see one and what it could be. Boom! Next one. Alright, so we got a bull here, and it looks like another man standing and looking at him. Standing tall, looks like he's building something there too. So the deeper I go into myself, the more I realize that I am my own enemy. And that makes sense. That one I see a lot of relevance with depression in general. And sorry, I'm looking at the ads here and I'm just like, what is this stuff? I hate the ads that come up on these websites. It just takes you out of the moment. So this one's interesting. You have a man who looks like to be building some kind of building, it looks like. And this bull comes down and just looks at him. Now, this one I can see a relevance because most people, when they kind of talk to their inner quote-unquote demons or just the other side of them that they sometimes can't control, they kind of, don't grab a bull by the horns. And people also, usually say, here comes the horns, if you mess with them too much. So this one I kind of see because the beast inside, it can usually be referred to as a raging bull. So that's what I'm kind of getting from this picture. The deeper I go into myself, the more I realize I am my own enemy, because the raging bull, your rage can get you into trouble, because when when you're into rage, you don't really think too much when you're in those moments. So you don't have a collective mind anymore typically when you're angry. So that's what I'm kind of getting from this picture. Maybe perhaps he's trying to build something here and the bull is about to BAM right into it and just destroy his progress. So that's what I'm kind of getting from this. If I'm going too deep into it, boom! Next one. So now we have a huge eagle, it looks like. So it looks like he's in the desert now. It's just a guy, and you see the moon in the background. It's really foggy. So as you see, all of these pictures are continuing that same style where it's really gloomy, and you're just seeing a bunch of grays and sometimes some white. So this one is, stopping, sitting down, and finding time for reflection are considered to be the most essential action related to fulfilling a human's destination. Sunday Adelaja, I believe. So I like this quote a lot because when you have time to reflect on stuff, you really capture the things in your mind that sometimes you may miss because you're going through everyday life and it can be easy to forget things. So really sitting down and just taking a breather, which we all need, it really helps. And with meditation, it could be about anything. You could think about the future. You could think about things you want to do later on, or just clear your mind. Maybe just think about nothing and just relax. Anything that is a breather from everyday life. The jobs that we go to that we may actually hate, but it puts food on the table. We all need breathers. We all need time to rest. When I see the eagle there, it looks like he's landing, and maybe it's just taking in the environment, or it could be actually preying on that guy. I have no idea. But I think what it could be here too is actually maybe the eagle is there to attack him. Maybe, like prey, like what eagles do, or just birds in general, they swoop down, bam, get something. I'm kind of getting that vibe to it, like maybe he's trying to relax in this deserted area, but then something comes along to distract him. Maybe. Boom! Alright, so I hope that's not getting annoying. So this one now we have a crane, I want to say. It's either a crane or a flamingo. I'm going to say it's a crane because if I remember correctly, flamingos have the curved beak while cranes have the pointed one. So And so now we're back in the jungle, it looks like, and the guy's standing upon a rock, kind of looking at what I'm noticing. The vibe with all these pictures are the guy. Each person that is in this picture is staring at these beasts, excluding the diver. The diver was actually facing away while the deer was right behind him. It's interesting seeing that difference between all these here. So the quote for this one is, the reason birds can fly and we can't is simply because they have perfect faith. For to have faith is to have wings. J.M. Barrie, The Little White Bird. So I guess that quote is actually from a book called The Little White Bird that probably J.M. Barrie wrote. Sounds interesting. So does that mean birds like penguins and chickens don't have faith because they can't fly? Because not all birds can fly. I couldn't resist. It kind of has this fantasy feeling to it. We have faith. We eventually grew faith that we could fly thanks to the Wright brothers, and ever since then we've been able to engineer new ways to fly because we have faith that we can be in the sky with the birds. If you have faith, you can accomplish anything. You can fly, so to speak. As an example, now I'm not saying go fly right now because it ain't gonna happen unless you got like a jetpack on or going on a plane ride to somewhere. Just saying. But that's what I'm kind of getting from that one. I'm really digging these art pieces. As gloomy and kind of dark as they are, I really enjoy looking at these. Pow! So, on to the next one. Boom. I was about to read the next quote already for the previous one, my bad. So, out of all the pictures we've seen so far, this one looks to be the only one that's actually real size, because, I'm assuming that's a blue whale, so that looks pretty accurate. But this one, if you look in the corner, the top left corner, you can see the guy actually standing right there. If size really mattered, the whale, not the shark, would rule the waters. So I like this where it goes into size and just how everything fits into the world, and how things like just sizes and everything. You can be this huge bulking guy, but you could get beat up by a stick because not a literal stick. Actually, it depends how big the stick is. But saying that brains can conquer brawn. The classic brain versus brawn. Brains can beat brawn if the brains are used effectively. And while I'm not saying the shark is smarter than the whale, they're built for different things. So because of that, if the whale was predatory, then the whale would rule the waters. But the whales are peaceful, while the sharks are more like, I smell blood. I don't know why I did that thing. That was weird. Boom! Alright, so on to the next one. Yo. Okay, shout out to The Labyrinth with... I forgot his name. David Bowie. There we go. Shout out to The Labyrinth. I love that movie. It was really cool. David Bowie. Wow. David Bowie was a great villain in that movie. I really enjoyed that. And that's the same owl. That's the same owl from that movie. So a huge owl this time, and interesting that its eyes aren't glowing. This is the first animal we've seen where the eyes aren't glowing at all. That is, I wonder why. So the quote for this one is, the most important thing is to sacrifice what you are now for what you can become tomorrow. So this is from Shannon L. Alder. This quote is interesting and an important thing to realize because whatever happened yesterday, it's done. Becoming a better person each day, because every second that passed, it's gone. You can't really go back. So this is one of those things that what I'm getting is, you move forward from these. So now at this point, I'm just starting to think that these quotes go with pictures, and they're just stuff to remember for those who have depression, just to think of these quotes and meditate on them to deal with it. So this one, I don't know what that is. I don't think that's an actual animal. It looks like a turtle, almost. A turtle that has a tree on it. It looks like a Pokemon almost, to be honest. To be wise means to know when to stay silent. Cayman's Kajori. Now this is a really good one that a lot of people just don't use properly. Sometimes it's better not to retaliate. It could add more issues to it in general. This one is the eagle close up now. I think this is the same bird from earlier. It looks like an eagle still. The guy's down at the bottom there. Excuse me. And instead of a torch, he's actually next to a lamp. And everything you can imagine is real. Pablo Picasso. That one's cool. That speaks out to me personally as an artist because we may not be able to snap our fingers and then there's an eagle right there. But we can draw an eagle. We can sculpt an eagle out of stone, or we can have alternatives that make it real in a sense. If you bring something into existence, whether it's drawing it or just sculpting it, it becomes real because it becomes you're molding it out of matter. It looks like a totem. And it looks like the middle is an owl, something like that. And the guy's standing right at it, so they're back to the whole eyes glowing thing. If you don't know where you are going, you'll end up someplace else. Yogi Berra. Yo boo boo. If you get that reference, you're awesome. If you don't know where we're going, you'll end up someplace else. Usually. I mean, right, I've gotten lost plenty of times and I've ended up where I wanted to be, but you know, that's just me. I'm joking. I think from this one, if you don't have a plan, you could easily end up off track and lose progress and most importantly time that may be something that you wish you had at the time. Yeah, I love doing that for some reason. So this one looks like it almost looks Egyptian or maybe Aztec. I'm getting a pharaoh vibe from it. So it looks like someone was building this and its eyes are glowing there. Got the guy with the torch at the bottom there. Fear is the ghost of ancient. It consumes faithless human. It consumes faithless human. Okay, that's a typo, I think. Toba Beta, Toba Beta, my ancestor was an ancient astronaut. That sounds interesting. Okay, fear is the ghost of ancient. It consumes faithless human. So what I get from that is fear has existed since the dawn of man. We have fear. It's ancient. And ghost, I'm getting, kind of fear can haunt us because we can be left, because I did that was actually my first podcast episode where on this channel, check it out, episode 1 is fear. The ghost of ancient. It can haunt us and we can have this feeling where it just basically shrouds us, where it consumes faithless humans. So ones who don't have faith, they can overcome the fear that could hurt them. So maybe faithless being they don't have faith that it's not something that is worth doing or worth worrying about, or they think it is worth worrying about, so they worry about it too much. I don't know what this one is. Some kind of hill or mountaintop, and then there's some kind of architecture linked to it there. And we have the guy looking at the end there for some reason, looking right off the cliff. I'm kind of wondering what kind of view he has. Like, is it just all fog at that point? Because there's nothing else visible in this picture except like a little bit in the background there. I don't know. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Abby Hoffman. So today's the first day of the rest of your life. Each new day is the next day of your life, the rest of your life. This piece kind of thinks, what I'm kind of getting from this piece is maybe he's up at the top kind of looking down at what has passed him by perhaps, and he's maybe at the top and he feels lonely. I'm probably thinking too much into these pieces, but I do enjoy interpreting them because everyone could get something different from these pieces. And let me know, guys, what you think about this. I should have said this at the beginning, but I'll say it at the end too. Let me know what you think about each of these pieces, or at least a few or one in particular, whatever speaks out to you, and let me know in the comments. I want to see what you all think about this. He's up there and he's kind of maybe viewing what he's done, and maybe that's all maybe he doesn't really have anything from the previous times in his life and that's it, or maybe he's just starting off anew and he's alone. I don't know. It could just be nothing. Boom. There may be a great fire in our soul, yet no one ever comes to warm himself at it, and the passers-by see only a wisp of smoke. Vincent van Gogh. That's a nice quote, Vincent. I gotta look up your quotes more often, buddy. You might have some good stuff. Besides that, hopefully. I know he's had some great pieces. I actually own a couple of his works in my house, but I haven't really looked at any of his quotes before, and I like that one. That's a good first impression, Van Gogh. If you were still alive, I would shake your hand. Maybe. I don't know. So, there may be a great fire in our soul. So there may be a great passion in ourselves for just anything. Maybe life in general, maybe a hobby, or just whatever. Yet no one ever comes to warm himself at it. So perhaps you have this passion, but you're not sharing it with anyone, or maybe you're not allowing to, or maybe just no one sees it, because as it says, as the passers-by see only a wisp of smoke. So maybe they have this passion within them that they have yet to unleash, and because of that, people who go by, who just see you on a daily basis, don't see it at all. Walking by just anyone on a daily basis, you don't know who they are or what they do. For instance, I just got my internet installed today. Thumbs up automatically, guys. Come on, I got my internet today. While I was talking to the internet guy who was installing my stuff, I found out that he streams and he does stuff on, he streams on Twitch and he does stuff on his PlayStation as well. And I was like, while we were talking, I forgot to see if I could add him on PSN too. I totally forgot. I was just like, shoot, I should have been networking there. But you never know who you'll run across, because you never know who could be a gamer. And, never judge a book by a cover unless they're a Nazi. Okay, so that's the quote of the year right there. Never judge a book by a cover unless they're a Nazi. I don't know why that's so funny to me for some reason. Alright, so it looks like a skeleton, but from what I'm seeing behind this little fixture, now that I'm thinking, it looks like someone built it, but I don't know, it still looks like a skull of some sort. And you see the man staring at it again. So that's most of the pictures, you see the man staring at it. So I'm not seeing a change of pace here, but that's not a bad thing. And there's a glow you can see behind them. Maybe it's the moon or something. I don't know. I started to realize how many great things could happen by confronting the things that scare you most. David Archuleta, I don't know. So, confronting your fears. All of these quotes I've been reading so far have really driven home the connection to depression itself and just people in general, what we have to meditate on a daily basis. And I hope this is leaving a positive message on you all, because I wanted to do videos like this for a reason, and I'll talk about that in the finale here. But this was great. I like this a lot. Sometimes you can miss out on a lot of great things. One of my fears is, what if I never really get people who enjoy my work? And fortunately, I've been seeing people enjoying my work because I'm getting subscribers more often now, and that's really awesome. And thank you guys for your support. And that was one of my fears, but it never stopped me. It may have hindered me a bit as far as taking my uploads and stuff more seriously, but I've gotten back into it, and I'm not letting that fear of failure, of not being able to touch people's hearts or just entertain them in general. I'm not going to let that fear put me down. I'm going to use that as motivation to continue doing what I do, because it takes years to get to where you want to be sometimes. It's work and success go hand in hand with each other. You can't succeed unless you put the work in. Most of the time. Unless you're just born with a silver spoon in your mouth. But then again, you usually still have to put work in. Even with that helps, but still you generally have to put work in. I'm not hating on anybody. I'm just saying. Sometimes it's easier for other people. I'm just saying. All right. There are a couple other pictures, but I'm going to let you guys check out the rest of them. I don't want to have this video go for too much longer. I hope you enjoyed this very much. I wanted to really delve into this because I really like these pictures and I really want to hear what others get from these pictures. Do you think the quotes, how do the quotes stand out to you? Do you think they resonate with you as a person? How do you view the pictures in general? What makes them what do they stand for to you? Do you suffer from depression, or what just helps you deal with it? So let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, definitely like and subscribe for content like this in the future. This is my YouTube shout out, so if there's anything you want me to shout out, just let me know what other kind of content you want to see from me in the future. Let me know in the section below, guys. So until the wind hits our sails yet again, I'll see you in the next video. Boom. Later days.